Back to the coaches pregame show here on the Q, WQBQ 1410, the voice of Lake County. So going back into the studios with our coaches, and Jason has joined us.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you guys here today, and glad to have the coaches. Coaches, I want to say thank you to all of you for coming in, for spending time with us today, and to make this our first event. And we'll smooth out the rough edges with the guys that are in there with you.
Yeah.
But
It's a hectic schedule.
Oh,
yeah, Coach Oates, if you'll just take these two boys down on the field with you this afternoon as your coach,
Run
you
laps.
work with it. Yeah,
They're gonna run laps.
We'll make it happen.
I think we can adjust it.
I'm going to skip the drill with the blow the whistle,
Yeah.
3-point stance,
Oh,
blow the
man.
We were running them to death.
So you
Hey,
guys have been
but
out and
that's
watched
good.
them work on the field.
Yes, we did.
It was, the guy said,
Wow.
I had goosebumps watching them.
I don't think the JV was used to it.
No. They
Well,
weren't. They weren't ready for that.
Before you guys got here, I was talking about the quarterback, and I think it was I forget which one. One of the coaches was talking about. He's a good quarterback.
Yes.
And I remember last week, Ron, you did a Facebook Live video.
Yeah.
And you paused in the middle of that video and
Yeah,
said,
he threw
"Wow,
a
what
40-yarder for a touchdown.
40-yard
The
pass for a
scrimmage, it was good.
touchdown."
Yeah.
And so,
I was upset I didn't have the camera on it.
yeah, well, there
But
you
he's
go.
got a nice little arm, so he looks like he's going to be mean.
Well, we're
I
looking
like
forward to that. Now, Coach, somebody said he's got a home somewhere?
Yes, Coach Boyer mentioned earlier that Wyatt committed to the University of Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And
That's awesome.
So,
It's not where you wanted him to go, though.
well, I wanted him to go where he'd be happy, but
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have him up in God's country at
In North Carolina?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
University of National Champions. But
All right. Well, we started this. The whole point we even started this is
When you say this, we're talking Red Zone Radio.
Excuse me. When we initially started Red Zone Radio, me and Jason were working together, and we would have the craziest sport debates
Oh, yeah.
you can think of. And my manager said, "Won't you guys get a radio show or something?" Joking around. Sponsor us.
Yeah.
So, and that's what he did. He sponsored us for an hour. We couldn't.
Blew through an hour.
There was too much to talk about. Got 2 hours. We did that, and now we are blessed enough to do this and to be a part of such a great program. Because you have no idea. We're excited. Funny part about it is the first home game you guys got against Eustis, right?
Correct.
We went to Eustis, so
Yeah.
I get to rag on him a little bit. Hopefully, you guys roll Eustis. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
I'm neutral now.
He's
so.
neutral now.
No.
He's a Leesburg guy now. So, all right. I just want to touch on the because I know we don't have much time. I want to touch on the Booster Club. I want to get some input from you guys on the boosters because something I did not know. I learned something yesterday. High school athletics. Apparently, the whole program is completely funded by the boosters. They don't get money from anybody.
Right.
And
From the state or anything like that.
I'm
No.
kind of
Wow.
it irks me a little bit. I mean, I don't know the program, not into that whole scene, but I would have thought that they're financed in a little bit. Apparently, they're not.
Right.
So you have schools that have high dollar people with there. They can fund these programs and get a lot more advantage than other kids who don't have that type of
Right.
funding. And it kind of broke my heart a little bit. I never, it opened my eyes to some things, and that this community really needs to come together. I'm sorry. I'm fidgety. Anyway, it opened my eyes. Leesburg, if you're out there, we need.
What
we
can
need
they
to
do to
fund.
help? Yeah.
Yes. What can we do to help Leesburg fundraise? Whatever we got to do. I know they got the bleachers they're looking at getting taken care of.
That's a
visitor
huge
bleachers.
problem.
Oh, it's
a huge
bad.
problem.
Yeah. And they were going over some numbers and what it takes to run a program, a successful program, and they're below that. I mean, we want to get the word out. I mean, and what I told them at the Booster meeting was, if they have any fundraiser for any sport, I don't care what it is, we want to know.
We want to know.
We want to get it out there. Football, basketball, weightlifting, soccer.
Yes.
I don't care what it is. If you got a fundraiser to build money to help build these programs, let us know. We want all of Leesburg out there helping this school succeed. Do the coaches contribute? I know they said they want the coaches there during the meetings, or at least one coach there, so we can kind of have a liaison and everybody figure out what's going on. And this is a new booster. the other booster club dissolved.
Right.
And there were some issues with that. I know I won't get too much into that,
Past
but
is the past.
past is the past. These people look like they love what they're doing. They love these kids. They
love the
this
kids
school.
in the community. Yeah.
Right.
They've seemed very heartfelt. What do you guys see from that?
They're very excited, and they're motivated. One of the board members, Brian Oldham, he actually played for us at Leesburg.
Oh.
So there's that pride factor.
Right.
I know Miss Dykes is a Leesburg grad. So they're excited to see Leesburg excel. They're homegrown people. And, some of them have kids in the program, so they want to see the program be successful. And I know so far in the short time that they've been together, they've really helped football quite a bit.
Right.
Football is an expensive sport. You're
Yes.
talking about $700 per kid
Yeah.
just outfitting them. I'm talking a helmet and pads. That's
Right.
not even
Not the
the
jersey.
uniform.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's very expensive. And you mentioned earlier about the funding. Probably in the late 90s is when schools started getting away from funding programs and kind of putting that on booster clubs. So
Right.
you have to raise money within your program.
Right.
The booster club, they pay for things that are going to stay at the school.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as a new staff coming in, they were things that these guys needed, coaches' shirts, caps, that kind of thing. And sometimes as a coach, you got to come out of your own pocket and buy things just so that you can look like a real program.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's been nice to get this booster club going.
Radio 1410.
I think they're going to take us in the right direction.
All right.
Another-
Hey, I got a little bit of breaking news here. I don't know if
Okay.
Coach, you may not want to comment on this. Breaking news from Lake County School Board: East Ridge High School head coach resigns effective immediately. And I see that we're going to be playing down there at their field
Really?
on September 8th.
Yes.
So just that just came through the news feed from Lake County Schools.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
East Ridge is on the schedule, you said?
Yes, we play.
Yeah,
them at
we
some
play them
point.
on
That's a
September
home
8th.
Do you guys have any events coming up fairly close that's going to help raise money for the football program that you know about right now?
Well, we had a fundraiser this past Saturday.
Okay.
The officials clinic jamboree that we hosted.
Right.
Football used that as a fundraiser. So
Okay.
that was a game that we actually got the gate.
Oh, wow.
Normally the gate goes into a general fund and not
Okay.
directly into the program. So it was huge for us to be able to use that as a fundraiser and
Good deal.
kind of get us going. So, and we'll do other things.
Right.
Yeah, I know, Leesburg, if you're out there, I know you're out there, obviously. I'm just making silly comments. But if you own a business, you can buy booster programs, packages that they have, and the money that you send, that you give for this package, they have 3 different level packages, I believe. It's like $1,000 one, a $500 one, a $250 one. Each one gets you different items. You get a banner on the board and admission, 2 tickets for like admission to all the games, things like that. But it helps these programs.
All right.
You can donate your booster. I believe you can donate money to a particular sport, or you can donate to the whole program. But it helps these kids. A lot of these kids, like I said, this is all they got. They look forward to these sports every day, to give them an outlet to kind of just express themselves in ways that they want to without acting a fool. But they're out there. They got individual packages parents can get. There's all kind of different ways you can support the program. Even if you're not an official booster, just go to the games. Just you going to the games and paying for a ticket, that helps the program. So anything you can do, I mean, $1, $2, $5, $50, I don't care what it is. If you can help the program, help the program. Like I said, these kids, I mean,
Yeah, man.
it's just, this is why we do what we do. This is why Coach Oates and the coaches here are doing what they do, because they really love the kids and they want to see these kids excel. So,
With the, you said you had, was it Wyatt as your quarterback, correct?
Yeah.
He played last year. He had an injury. Was that?
Yeah, he tore his ACL.
Oh, wow. Now, in practice, he seemed like he was back to, I didn't see him before. I didn't see him last season. But would you say he's 100% back to where he was at, or he's more advanced going into the next year?
I mean, I think he's back to where he's at. I mean,
Right.
anytime you get injured, it obviously slows you a little bit, but I think
Right.
he's back to being the Wyatt we knew.
Right. Yeah, and he does definitely seem like a leader on the team.
Absolutely.
Other players, do you have any other offers for other players on your team now?
We don't have any offers out there, but I think we will have some other kids
Right.
who sign,
Right.
late bloomers.
How many seniors do we have this year?
7.
Seven on the team.
Wow.
All right, and I mean, naturally, as the coach, you want to see them all succeed and move up to the next level. So now, how do they just come to your football games and watch? How do they pick kids?
Well, a good coach, a good high school coach, promotes his kids.
Right.
I do bios, and I email them to coaches. Coaches that I know personally, I give them phone calls, write letters. You just promote your kid, let coaches know they're out there. Everything is so technical now.
Yeah.
Kids are posting
Social media. I mean, it's
highlight tapes,
crazy.
Social media.
How much has coaching changed because of that? I mean, you have kids now that self-promote. A lot of them do.
Well, actually, as a coach myself, I've always pushed parents and kids to do that.
Right.
Even before all the social media. I mean, because every kid is not playing for a coach that's going to help them get to the
That's
next level.
correct.
So
Yeah.
it's very important that parents take part in that and the kids to promote themselves.
Right.
And I'm going to do my job, but it doesn't hurt for you to promote yourself as well. So
Oh, they got to help build the brand. So
Right.
definitely.
That's awesome. Do you find is coaching now harder than when you first started, or has it gotten easier?
Well, for me, I hear coaches all the time saying how kids have changed.
Right.
I think coaches have changed,
Right.
not kids. Society.
There's been
Has
forced to change in some ways. I
I'm
mean,
still old school.
Right.
I'll always be old school. When it gets to the point that I can't coach the way that I coach,
Yeah.
I'll just get out of it. But I think too many coaches nowadays give in
Yeah.
to children.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of children don't have parents like I had,
Right.
and so we're not going to be that program.
Yeah. You can't let the kids dictate the
There's
show.
a place for adults and there's a place for children.
I agree.
That's how we run our program.
And when I was at practice, that reminded me of when I played football. I went to my kids' practices, and it's nothing like when I played football.
Yeah.
But going to your practice, I was like, hey, that's exactly how my coach was to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I got to hand that to you. That's good to have that same philosophy and not change because of how everything else has changed.
Yeah.
We want our kids to be tough.
Right.
No, they seem well. What I liked out there, I mean, when you were doing the whistle thing, man, every time.
What do you call that drill?
Just a whistle drill.
Whistle drill?
Yeah. I liked the because I know you sat there and gave them a speech and you were kind of going over everything and basically telling them like the varsity, they need to step up as leaders and
Right.
help their freshmen who were lagging behind. And when you did that after everything, there was a couple kids who were straggling. They were having a rough time as far as the running and the drill. And when they left, there was a couple varsity players that helped the freshmen keep the sprint so they didn't have to run.
Right.
I mean, seeing them at that point basically exude leadership to the younger to help them come along and just keep passing down that generation. I mean, we need that. So
Teamwork. It's all about a team.
That's all
Sure.
about team.
That's right.
Our motto at Bill Bryan is one team, one goal.
Right.
We all have the same goal. We all want the same money. We all want the same objectives.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not, like the age-old saying, you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Right.
So, and it's just to see them go out that way and not think about self.
Right.
It's an awesome feeling, man, to watch that, to see that there's adults out there that are still instilling good morals into these kids these days, because our
Absolutely.
morals have went downhill, and that's a whole
That's a whole
nother
nother
conversation.
show.
Coach, we got about 30 seconds. Anything you'd like to tell our listeners about how we're going to win this ball game Friday night when we
Yeah.
go to Citrus High School?
Well, we're going to go down there. We're going to give 100% effort.
All right.
We're going to play hard through every play. And as I said earlier, these guys, they've coached the kids up, and I feel like we're going to do some good things Friday, something that Leesburg can be proud of.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Going to show up and play ball, right?
Exactly.
There we go. Well, folks, that's your first edition of the Coaches Show, pregame show, that is, for Leesburg Yellow Jackets. Go Leesburg Yellow Jackets. Go Leesburg High School. We're pulling for you. We're rooting for you. Going to be doing play-by-play every game. And I want to tell you that Lakefront TV will be filming all of the home games, and they're going to air them on Thursdays at 7 right after the pregame show at 6. So stay tuned to Lakefront TV. Stay tuned to WQBQ 1410, the voice of Lake County. Thank you guys for all this, and we'll improve and move forward.
That's it.